Hi everyone, it's Melissa, and today I am sharing with you my TBR for Nonfiction November. This is actually a pile of possibilities because I do not dedicate my entire November to reading nonfiction. I do want to leave some room for reading fiction, and also I'm a relatively slow reader, so I might not get to all 4 books. If I do, great. If I can get to more, that's fantastic. I do have a longer list of nonfiction that I have been meaning to get to, but these are the 4 that I'm going to be prioritizing. So this event is hosted by Olive from A Book Olive, and what I will do is I will share her video with recommendations for this Nonfiction November based on the 4 words that she has as prompts. So the first word is record, and I have interpreted this as documenting something, having something on record, and my immediate thought went to like autobiographies and memoirs and that kind of thing. And I have a memoir sitting on my shelf that I borrowed from my sister-in-law at least a year ago, if not longer, and still haven't read. So that is Between Two Kingdoms, a memoir of a life interrupted by Suleika Jaouad. This is the author's memoir of surviving cancer and the aftermath of that. So she was diagnosed with cancer, I think fairly young. I think she had just graduated college and was starting a career. She's diagnosed with cancer, undergoes treatment and survives, but finds out that there is a lot of healing to be done after you are quote unquote cured from cancer. So this, I think, is more so a memoir. I think it's a memoir both of dealing with cancer and the aftermath, but from what I've heard, it skews more to what she goes through after her cancer is in remission. The next word is element, and my first thought was chemicals, the elements. And I wanted to choose books that were from my own shelves, and I don't really have anything on chemistry. But then I saw Cosmos by Carl Sagan. This is way from the backlist, but I've never read it, and it's something that has always intrigued me just because I have read other like little short bits from Carl Sagan. I haven't read an entire book of his, but I do like how he explains things. And I know this isn't, strictly speaking, a book about chemistry, but the elements also makes me think of like particles and space. And I just feel like this is going to be the type of space book I want to read. And while I love science and I studied the sciences and I have a master's degree in science, physics and astronomy are the area where I don't have as much knowledge. So I would love to read this and just gain a better understanding of the cosmos. The next word is border, and I immediately thought of course, countries, but also just invisible lines, these invisible boundaries that we create. And it also made me think of separation. And I thought this would be a great excuse to read Trevor Noah's memoir, Born a Crime, Stories from a South African Childhood. I believe this is told more as a collection of essays about his childhood growing up in apartheid South Africa, and more specifically growing up biracial in apartheid South Africa. Every time I hear Trevor Noah speak on any topic really, I just find him very clever and witty, and I like the way that he articulates things. So I'm very interested to check out his writing and to also learn more about apartheid South Africa. The last word is secret, and I might be stretching this prompt a little bit more than the others, but along with secrecy, I think goes things that are taboo, that aren't necessarily a secret, but that we don't talk about. And I thought for this, I would choose Being Mortal by Atul Gawande. The author is a doctor, and he discusses death and being mortal from a medical perspective, and why that perspective often is a bit short-sighted, that in medicine, the goal is to prevent death, but that isn't necessarily what is best for the patient. It's not necessarily what will give a quality of life. It might not even be what the patient wants in all cases. And I think that even outside a medical context, just in broader society, at least in the part of the world that I live, it's also a cultural thing to want to prevent death at all cost. And even though we all know intellectually that death is inevitable, a part of us wants to always push that away, and we have trouble accepting death as a natural part of life. Death acceptance is actually a topic I have a lot of interest in. So I am very much looking forward to finally reading this book. Those are the 4 books I have chosen for this year's prompts for Nonfiction November. If you're participating, please let me know what you're reading. If you've read any of these books, also please let me know what you thought of them. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll chat soon. Take care. Bye.